Good old Velma, the TV show that united the entire internet in absolute hatred. This TV show has gone down in legend for the internet to be one of the most hated TV shows to ever be released, if not ever. Okay, I mean, it came out literally after The Rings of Power, which was a TV show that was already going for one of the most hated TV shows ever. I mean, around that time, it was actually pretty nuts to see how many TV shows were competing to be the worst TV shows ever created. You had The Rings of Power, you had Velma, you had Witcher Blood Origin, you had all of these creations just completely being destroyed by fans of the original works. Now, why am I talking about Velma again? Well, normally I would be talking about Velma again if season 2 was going to be coming out like they originally said. But apparently, there's just news that broke that Warner Brothers has apparently suspended deals with Mindy Kaling, J.J. Abrams, and other creators as well. It says the Writers Guild of America strike is entering its 5th month with no end in sight. Ladies and gentlemen, this face that everybody loved to hate, this face that brought so many of you to my channel, I can see her giving this kind of like a smart ass look whenever she got bad news like this because she doesn't want to admit that her TV show is not worth it for Warner Brothers to want to pursue their original contracts. And of course, they're going to use the writer's strike going on right now to get out any deal that they have clearly spent way too much money on. So let's get into this article, guys, from NBC News. But of course, before we do, guys, I'm shadow banned as hell. Just consider subscribing, support the channel, and like the video to push us out into the YouTube algorithm. So it says Warner Brothers Discovery on Wednesday suspended deals with some of the most high-profile writers in the television industry, including Mindy Kaling, Lost co-creator J.J. Abrams, and Ted Lasso co-creator Bill Lawrence, a studio source said. The Writers Guild of America strike is entering its 5th month with no end in sight. Hollywood scribes at major studios such as Warner Brothers are locked in a battle over wages and other issues, including protections against the use of artificial intelligence. Warner Brothers is halting payments to the A-list writers for the duration of the strike. People briefed on the matter told the New York Times. NBC News has not independently verified that information. I don't think NBC News ever independently verifies information. I mean, let's just be real, ladies and gentlemen. But one of the things I want to say is that it's very clear, and we said this from the start, that Warner Brothers was definitely overextending with some of the TV shows that they were putting money into, especially Velma. Velma, in my opinion, had all the episodes already made, and they just separated it into 2 separate seasons. This is what they do all the time to make their TV shows look like a success. They already have a season 2 planned because season 2 was made with season 1, and all they're doing is splitting up the episodes so that it can announce, oh yeah, we're making season 2 when they've already pretty much made season 2, or at least have most of the groundwork ready for season 2 when season 1 comes out. So regardless of how the show does, if it's an ideologically based show like Velma was, it's going to get a season 2 no matter what. I'm still waiting for She-Hulk to get a season 2. That show was absolutely terrible, and I guarantee you it's going to get a season 2. So it says Kaling, a comedian, and I don't know if I would use comedian properly, an actor best known for her role on NBC's The Office, co-created the comedy series The Sex Lives of College Girls and the animated series Velma, 2 shows that are distributed on Max, Warner Bros. Discovery's marquee streaming platform. Abrams co-created the Max crime thriller Duster, which was still in production when the strikes effectively shut down the industry. Lawrence's show Ted Lasso and Shrinking, which stream on Apple Plus TV, are both co-produced by Warner Brothers Television. The film and television industry's writers have been on strike since early May. The industry's actors, largely represented by SAG-AFTRA, joined writers on the picket lines in July, the first time both unions have been on strike simultaneously in 63 years. The leaders of both unions argue that the rise of streaming has economically disadvantaged their members. Oh, poor actors and actresses. Must be so god-awfully terrible. Ladies and gentlemen, these are just people who are very afraid for their jobs, okay? Rightfully so, because a lot of them are so subpar that they could be outperformed by AI. Let's just be real. Like, if you're talking about writers, you're talking about actors, most of them are so subpar that a computer can absolutely do better. And they know that AI has taken over many jobs from many other industries prior. Now it's coming after writers and actors, and now they don't like it because, of course, these Hollywood idiots, they need to be the center of attention. They have to be special. They have to be excluded from all other issues that the rest of the world faces. You know, it's not the first time we've seen them try to play special favors for Hollywood over the normal people, if you want to call it that, right? So This industry is definitely corrupt in every way imaginable. We know that to be true. And the only thing that I ever want to see come out from this strike is that they actually release the viewership numbers for every single TV show that comes out after the strike is finished. But I think that is going to be so detrimental to these studios that they much rather overpay these actors and writers than release the numbers and tell the truth to everybody. That's the big thing for these studios. They don't want to show what's actually happening with these TV shows. The only time they ever mention it is when the TV show actually does well. Just look at Netflix's One Piece, for example. If Netflix's One Piece was doing terrible, do you think they would have released the viewership numbers like they did? Absolutely not. They never do. That's why Rings of Power only released viewership numbers, which, again, those numbers were highly competed against. But after the first episode of Rings of Power, they made damn sure never to release viewership numbers ever again for any other episode. So that's my biggest issue with what's going on with these studios. But again, Velma is clearly one of those TV shows that doesn't need a season 2. It never needed a season 2. Season 1 was more than enough for Mindy Kaling to express her disdain for white people, even though she definitely is married to a white man, but that's neither here nor there. It says representatives for WGA, SAG-AFTRA, and the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers did not immediately respond to requests for comment Thursday. Neither did representatives for Kaling, Abrams, and Lawrence. Warner Bros. Discovery said in Securities and Exchange Commission filing this week that it assumes that it will be negatively impacted by the dual strikes to the tune of up to $500 million. WBD is hopeful that these strikes will be resolved soon, the company said in its filing, but it cannot predict when the strikes will ultimately end. The company now assumes the financial impact to WBD of these strikes will persist through the end of 2023. And I do agree that it's going to persist all the way longer than most people realize. I don't think people realize just how long this is actually going to go on for. It's actually kind of surprising that it's gone on this long, which leads me to believe I feel like this is almost purposeful in many different ways. It's not something that just happened by chance. And sure, you do have a lot of them fighting for little things here and there, but I do feel like there is a bigger picture here overall, not just for the writers and the actors, just overall in general happening in Hollywood right now. There is a major shift going on, and I do think that a lot of it has to do with a fear of AI from the worker side and a love for AI from the actual producer side. So ultimately, we got to see how they come to a middle agreement. I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon, but when the strikes end, I'm sure that all of these shows that have been delayed or canceled will probably stay that way even when the strike is over. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy, and if you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.